So good morning to you, welcome along to Eclipse Motorcycles. Today we're going to be out riding this for our customer Carl, who's purchased this ZSB. This is a road test just to show him the road mileage being put onto the bike. With these ZSBs, very easy to get to the seat. There's a couple of bolts at the back that you undo. This has a locking helmet clip on it, so you can obviously lock your helmet onto the bike if you wish to do so. It's got a manual fuel tap on this one, so the petrol is not permanently on. Make sure it is always in the on position. Very easy to see that fuel filter, and very easy just to get around these engine components and clean everything at the front. Dual braking system on this. It's got the combined braking system once again. Nice big headlight to the front of that, and those nice upright bars. A great riding position on this one. Also has a manual kickstart, so should you get a flat battery you can always go to the kickstart option. And all the parts easily accessible and very viewable, especially that rear brake cylinder. So you can see that one as well there. Nice chrome exhaust to the rear. So we're going to take this one out, put some road mileage. We have done quite a few of these ZSBs, if you've watched my previous videos on bikes. So we're going to just drop this off the side stand, put the ignition on, wait for it to do its duty cycle. Now this is set in kilometres, very easy, just to press and hold, and that will flip it over to the kilometres when you turn the ignition back on. So you push and hold, turn it back on, it will go back to miles per hour just by holding that button. Very easy to see all the controls on there. Indicators will come up left and right here. You've got a neutral indicator, engine management light, and your high beam will come up to the top right. On the controls, kill button, start button. Across on the left you've got a pass light to the back on the finger, high beam, low beam, indicators, and the horn just to the bottom of this one. So we're going to start this one up. Now with these ZSBs you have to be very careful not to touch the throttle on startup. Let the bike do its own thing for a couple of minutes. That is running just nicely at 1500 RPM. And there we go, that will rev straight up. If you give it loads and loads of throttle or twist the throttle, you will flood the engine on this. So just let the bike do its own thing. And we have a customer saying, I can't get my ZSB started. No, don't touch the throttle. Just turn it over, let the bike do its own thing. Don't grab any throttle. Give it time to adjust to the system, let the EFI kick in, and then you're good to go. Manual gear indicator comes up just to the top right on this one, and if you just look over, you've got your fuel tank to the bottom, trip meter at the bottom there, and your miles an hour. Nice big display of those miles per hour on this bike. So we're going to take this one out, give it a run. Now with these mirrors, very wide mirrors on this, so we're just going to set those up. And the mirrors on this really wide. I'd say there's about a third of my shoulder, but these mirrors do extend out quite a bit, so ample view of the road behind. And now time to take it out onto the road, and we're going to put about 20 miles on it like we normally do, at around 40 to 43 miles per hour. So we just wait for the traffic to clear, and then we'll get it up to speed. Just work through the box very quickly. So first, second, third, keeping the revs low, fourth, fifth, and then we just wind up the revs in fifth gear. Should never over rev any bike that is brand new. So obviously just building up the revs, and it should sit around about 5,000 RPM at about 40 mile an hour, which is what it's doing. Now I have seen other ride tests from other dealers, and I do go on about that Iska from another dealer. Does his demonstration, walks around the bike, tells you all about the height, the seat height, how many litres you've got in the fuel tank, and then he goes straight out 2 miles an hour and bangs the bike straight up to 63. No. So I'm going to pull that in on the front brake, and God, that is effective. So that was just coming in from neutral, just going to work back through the box, down into first gear, and then get ready to get onto the dual carriageway, get some mileage on, and I will tell you a little bit about this bike for our customer Carl. So this one's come in, it's had all its PDIs, it's had its QCs, and it's just down to me now to get the ride mileage on for the customer. So with these ZSBs or any Lexmoto bike that you buy, there is a set procedure that you should be following and I keep banging on about it every time because some people don't know what that is. So first 500 kilometers, 311 miles, you should be doing 40 mile an hour only, maximum of 40 mile an hour. Never ever take it up to full revs, although they are sort of obviously worn in at the factory. You should be sticking to around about 40 mile an hour for the first 500k, and I'm sitting at 41 at the moment, so that's ample for me. Nice and slow and steady. Once you've had your first service out the way at 500k, 311 miles, then you can take the bike up to 50. Second service comes in at 1500 kilometers, 932 miles, and then you are good to go. But the first 1500 kilometers of any Lexmoto bike should be run in correctly. I know it's going to take you guys time to get the mileage on the bikes, and obviously try and take it steady, but you do get those that just want to go straight up to full speed. You are going to wreck that engine. You're going to blew the pistons, you're going to heat the barrels up so hard, and then all you're going to get is you're going to lose all your top speed mileage. So you're going to lose all that top speed, and then you're going to find that you've got engine issues quite soon down the line. So what I'd say is stick to the regulations, try and do the best you can, and take your time with a new bike. It's like a little baby. You're not going to go having a newborn baby and taking it straight to a full cooked breakfast or a big Sunday lunch. It's going to start on its milk, and then you're going to wean it off that milk on the sort of semi-solids, then on the solids. So it's let it crawl, let it walk, let it run. If you do that, these little bikes are good for absolutely ages. And obviously if you're going to go and do like other dealers do, I certainly wouldn't want to buy a bike that has been road tested by a dealer at 2 miles and he's banged that bike straight up to 63. So I pity the person that is going to buy that Iska. And I'm not going to obviously mention the dealer, but if you search around, look for an Iska video, certainly not one of mine, but look for a review, Lexmoto Iska, you will find that bike. Just have a look when he glances down at the clocks, just look at his mileage on that bike, or look at the speed of that bike. Certainly one of them will be buying that bike. So at Eclipse, we do a full PDI, as we always say, full road test, and I am very, very stringent as to sticking to that 40 mile an hour. So 41, 43 maximum. I'm sitting at 42 at the moment. Very easy to see the dials, so just quick glance down. If I obviously am going a little bit quick, back off the throttle a bit. But I tend to sort of lock my wrist out, and I tend to vary my speed, so I tend to sort of 38, 40, 42, back it down to 40, back down to 38. So it's getting different amounts of revs through the bike, but as long as you're keeping it slow and steady, it's all good. So what we're doing, we're coming at the next roundabout. I'm going to pull in on that combined braking system and just show you the effectiveness of using the rear brake on this. Obviously we say right hand front brake dry weather, back brake down on the foot for wet weather. So dry weather, wet weather, that's all you've got to remember. This one does have a 5-speed box on it, like most of the Lexmotos, and it's a bad habit of mine. I always keep going for that 6th gear. It's like, no, this is 5-speed. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a few more miles on this for the customer, and this is going out, obviously, I said, to Carl. Now Carl is going to obviously watch this video, see his bike being ridden, and he's going to know that we have done all our ride tests. Now with some dealers, they obviously don't do ride testing on video. I do, and it's obviously gives the customer a little bit of satisfaction to know that his bike is being running in correctly. And it's also to show that we have absolutely zero issues with any bike. What I tend to do is obviously edit the video. If it's a good ride, I tend to edit the video down and come back in when I go back into my urban route. If I do have any issues, I tend to leave those on, and we did that on one of the ZSB videos, and that was my own stupid fault, where I gave the bike a quick clean and I actually knocked the fuel tap halfway off. I got halfway down the dual carriageway and the bike was spluttering. I'm like, oh god, what's going on? What's going on? And then had a look down, had a quick look around the bike. Oh, you silly thing, you've knocked your fuel tap off. So spoke to the customer. I said, look, this is what we found on the video. Do you want me to include the fuel tap on it? She went, no, it's fine. If you know, if you've told me about it and there's no issues on the bike, you can edit that bit out in the video. So it's exactly what we did. And that was Kirsty's bike, believe it or not. Now, if you happen to follow one of my videos where I'm actually out on the Kawasaki, I was actually out riding with Kirsty a couple of weeks ago, and we're due to have a ride out from the garage this Sunday as well. So we're going to be off to our local biker den, which is the Super Sausage, and I'm going to be taking a few of the Lexmoto owners down with me. Nice steady 50 mile an hour down to Super Sausage, and we're going to go and have a burger, cup of coffee, and have a chat with all the big bikers. So currently 4 miles in, another 16 to go on this. As usual with these little ZSBs, you never get any problems with these, because we do our PDI and our QC, what we call the QC loop, and everything is absolutely tested to the hilt. Now obviously I've checked this all out, all the levers are all good, the clutch biting point I've had to adjust slightly, and obviously on new bikes just make sure when you do pick your bike up that your clutch biting point has been adjusted. What you're looking for on that clutch biting point is about 20 mil out from the bars. You don't want it right at the end of the travel, because all you're going to get is a load of clutch slip. You're going to be burning that clutch out. So just ease this back a bit. I just went up to 45. Just ease back a little bit. There we go, nice steady 42. So these little ZSBs do have quite a bit of power on them, and you obviously got to watch that mileage, that you stay within your tolerances. So 4 miles in, I'm going to edit this one down. If I do get any issues, I will leave them on the video. If not, I will catch up with you again when we come back in to do the urban around town. So catch up with you guys in just a few. So welcome back, and we're 17 miles in, so about another 3 to do, and we're just going to get some urban mileage on this bike now. And as normal, absolutely zero issues for those first 17 miles. Bike ride's absolutely perfect, handles very well, back brakes all been checked, and we're going to do another brake test when we come in at the next junction if I have to stop. And obviously just to show you stability of the bike when I get no cars, because if I take my hand off they're going to think I'm waving to them. So stability of the bike, there we go, one hand off, absolutely perfect. Still holds a straight line, which is what I would expect it to do from these little ZSBs, and you can do the same just by lifting one hand, but obviously for the purpose of ride test I tend to take one hand off and show you. So just coming in past the speed camera, dropping it back down to 30 mile an hour. Obviously that dashboard very easy to see, so that is the one thing I do like about these Lexmoto clocks. You do get a nice digital speed display showing you exactly what your speed is. Very easy to see that indicator flashing away as well, and it leans very well in the corners. Obviously I've just spent the last 10 or 15 miles just weaving backwards and forwards, and if you do want to ever scrub tyres in or get them up to temperature, the easiest way is to just use your body and just get a little bit of lean on the bike like this. But obviously other car drivers will think, what's going on? So make sure that you've obviously got no traffic behind you and that you are safe to do that. So I'm going to push it around a few roundabouts, drop it down to second gear, ease the power in, and the bike leans very well into those corners. So tyres are nicely bedded in now. Obviously these Lexmoto tyres, they have sourced some really good rubber on all of their ranges now, and especially some of the big bikes, you've got a nice fat back tyre now, which is what I do like. None of these little thin bicycle wheels on them anymore. So really good set of tyres on these ZSBs. Even the Titans and the Iskas and the Assaults, they've all got some really good tyres on them now. And if you haven't seen the tyres on the LXR, they are absolutely phenomenal. Huge, great back tyre on those. Almost up to the same width as some of the big sports bikes that we do. I know coming in, we've got a nice bump, and just put it over that bump, and you can see suspension acts very, very well. So just coming in on the roundabout, and we're just going to chug it through in third gear, and on the power, and absolutely no issues using very, very low gear to just pull away with a bit of torque. So heading back to the garage now. So this has been ride test on the ZSB. This one's going out to Carl. I believe it's due out in about 5 days time, so we always prep and ride test early just in case we get any issues. Then we've got time to do any warranty claims and repairs. So if you are looking for a ZSB, next stock I believe is due in around about August time. As with all the Lexmoto bikes, we're all waiting for the next shipment, and it's the same across the country. But if you do want to put a pre-order down on one of these, and a lot of customers are putting deposits down to hold a bike for when it comes in, give the guys at Eclipse Motorcycles a call, 01908 643 603. As always, if you like the video, click the like, subscribe, smash the hell out of the notifications bell if you want to be updated on our next videos that are coming up. And as usual, all the media you can find on my website, revbomb.co.uk. There's the link to the garage on the first page, Eclipse Motorcycles, the Facebook's on there, telephone number for the garage, and also the link to their website for the bikes, which we are still working on and building. All the social media for everything from me is on the social media page, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and the YouTube. Until then, we should be well, ride safe, and it's a goodbye from me.